Now, Alex Hormozi is probably an S tier financial influencer or financial guru that I would actually take advice from. But it's not only because of what he says, but the work that he's done in his past. And giving detailed financial advice is something that's often strayed away from, especially when we're talking about an influencer that all they do is either push a course or push a book or something for you to sell. Now, in this video, he's talking to one of his viewers, but in it, there's so many helpful things that anyone could take away, especially if they're trying to get out of the financial situation that they're in.
This is a video I'm making for Avante, the young man who was working 2 jobs with a 1-year-old who's struggling and said he was sick and tired of being poor and didn't know how to get out. I didn't have time to answer you when I was walking, but I wanted to take this minute to give you a longer answer. I'll read you the tweet, maybe we'll put it up on the screen. To Avante, the young man who stopped me at the grocery store working 2 jobs with a 1-year-old who asked advice on how to get ahead. I gave you a short answer because I was in a rush and it ate at me. So if you follow me here, maybe you'll read this. What you're going through is tough. Being so young and already having to support a child is not easy, but you'll have the opportunity to become an amazing inspiration in a way I never could. Your success story will become your sermon. That being said, onto the advice. You're going to need to assume that luck isn't real or that it applies to everyone else but you, because the only way you're going to get out of your surroundings is by having something of value that other people want. And right now, the only thing you have is your time with low skills to trade, which is a hard game to play. You have to trade a lot of it only to get a little. So your main objective is to have the time to learn a skill while providing for your family. That means in the short term, your family may have to suffer. Scratch that. Your family will suffer. But better now when they're too young to remember it than when they're too old to forget. Again, not forever, but for now. So these are the things you're going to have to do. And this isn't dabble stuff. This is wake the fuck up, because if you don't, you're going to blink and be 30 and in the same spot, but worse. Number 1, cut all costs. And I mean all costs. You don't eat out anymore for anything. And if you're hungry, you deal with it. If it's not from a discount grocery store, you don't buy it. Clothing, ha. What you've got is everything you need for the next 2 years, period. No exceptions. Reuse, trade, or go to Goodwill. You go to work, you go home, and home is ideally with your family. And when I say family, your folks. And if you don't have folks who've got room or a couch or a basement that you can stay at, the worst case is with another family also trying to make it and save. So it's 6 of you, 8 of you, 10 of you in one spot, all splitting it, all of you contributing. And it's gonna be as cheap as you possibly can. Number 2, increase your income. You're working 2 jobs. Your free time, I want you to spend applying to other jobs closer to what you want to do. He said he didn't like either of the things that he was doing at that time. So any at-home phone sales job has starter roles that require 0 experience and pay $40,000 a year or more. Do that and work your other job in between. If you can't, drive Uber. If you don't have a car, save up until you do. Number 3, the easiest thing to sell is someone else's stuff. So start there. Then learn how to buy stuff for cheap and then flip it. The bigger the thing, the more you make. You go from flipping cards to furniture to home, and the limit never really stops from there on. Final note, I could hear the stress in your voice when you were talking to me about your situation. It sounded like you didn't know what to do. Sadness comes from a lack of options. It's a feeling of hopelessness. But whenever you feel that, I want you to think, this is ignorance, not sadness. It means I don't know enough, and that I can control. You asked me to come work for free, but I have no need for low-skilled labor. But I do have a need for high-skilled beasts. It's why I make the books and the courses and the content everywhere for free. So use those. Then get yourself a high-paying job, and every day apply for higher-paying ones. I recommend sales to start. Then once you get in there, for the love of God, work until your fingers bleed because you have no other option. You have no luck. Nothing is going to work out for you. You're not going to catch a break. You're going to have to make it happen. You're going to have to force it. You've got to become undeniable. And the best news is that you can do that in less than a year. So that's my advice. Number 1, cut all your costs, everything. Number 2, work more to make more and apply to better jobs and then learn to sell. 3, start selling more expensive stuff and then eventually sell your own. The game is just trading up over and over and over again. You're just a few trades away from a very different financial situation.
Now again, the link for the full video will be down in the description. I just wanted to bring this video to light to you guys because in it there's so much information. There's so many takeaways, and the video is probably, I think, 15 or 16 minutes long, and this was just like the first 3 minutes. So you can imagine how much is actually in the video. And this is what I mean by actionable advice that someone's able to give you, because there's so many financial influencers or gurus that are effectively trying to sell you something, and there's so little that are actually giving you real advice.